Итак, а, да, это новая игра. Мы попытаемся. Я не скажу, что она будет принципиально отличаться от другого прохождения. Типа, я, например, не очень хочу идти там фашиста или что-нибудь подобное. Но, во-первых, мы будем качать другую политическую штуку. То есть мы до этого посмотрели м, моралиста. Я думаю, мы здесь качнем либо капиталиста, либо коммуниста. Как бы, скорее всего, коммуниста, потому что чаще всего в фанфиках оно. И чтобы понимать, о чем там, возможно, стоит пойти туда. Я думаю, мы возьмем медиума, потому что у него наиболее какой-то гармоничная фигня из того, что я хотел. То есть у нас будет высокая психика, у нас будет достаточно высокая физиология, она у нас была низкая. С моторикой сложно, это будет означать, что мы не сможем нормально поговорить с Кимом о Кинеме. Но я думаю, это... Мы поговорили с ним и так в прошлом руте более-менее хорошо. А в данном случае у нас будет все в порядке, потому что у нас будет и внутренняя империя, и эмпатия, и авторитет, кстати, и главное, полицейская волна. Она нам будет говорить очень много хороших вещей. Возможно, больше, чем... мы узнаем больше, чем мы знали до этого. Возможно, она нам что-нибудь расскажет про наших сослуживцев. Так что давайте возьмем медиума. И у него, кстати, внутренняя империя, и мы наконец-то поговорим с нашим гастром, с которым мы не разговаривали в прошлый раз. И... О, я же должен... Совсем забыл. Второе прохождение. Давайте так оставим. Прохождение. Бум. Нормально. Продолжай. Я не уверен, стоит ли в этом прохождении также не проматывать все реплики. Но, наверное, я так буду делать, потому что иначе пострадает атмосфера. Так что мы будем прослушивать даже то, что не слышали. Если вам будет нужно, перемотайте, если вы будете смотреть записи. Если не будете смотреть записи, что ж, удачи. Возможно, вспомните что-то, что еще не помню. В любом случае, хорошо.
There is nothing, only warm primordial blackness. Your conscious ferments in it, no larger than a single grain of malt. You don't have to do anything anymore. Ever. Never, ever. Never, ever, ever, baby. An inordinate amount of time passes. It is utterly void of struggle. No ex-wives are contained within it. Yes, it is. You got it, sweet brother. Nothing upon nothing upon nothing. Coming right up, sir. Smooth passage. Do you really? Alright, nothing down to fuck all borough. Not you. Your days of giving a shit and being that type of animal are over. The song of death is sweet and endless. But what is this? Somewhere in the soul bloated man meat around you. A sensation. Like a fly to the ointment, your conscience sticks to it. The limbed and headed machine of pain and undignified suffering is firing up again. It wants to walk the desert, hurting, longing, dancing to disco music.
You can take it. You're a champion.
The stench of liquor rises from your mouth, and with it, an ungodly headache. A fiery streak penetrates your skull, trying to force your eyes open. It's a sound, a clarion call from hell.
This fan has two chain pull switches. One ends in a tiny fan, the other in a light bulb. A truly horrific necktie has somehow attached itself to one of the blades. Or has it been consigned there as punishment? You feel as though this creature is your friend and wants to reattach itself to your neck so that you may continue your adventures together in this strange world. The blades come squeaking to a halt. It should be easier to reach the tie now. You swoop up and catch the tie. Snap. It's released from the blade. Warning, warning, the necktie is no longer contained. What you have in your hand is a fantastically colorful tie with 4 or 5 different patterns. The knot reminds you of a noose. You hear a jingle. Keys are clinking in the pocket of your flare-cut pants. It says, whirling in rags, on the aluminium keyring. There is a single key on the ring. The number 1 is etched on it. It should open the door. A mirror hangs above a bent and broken sink. In a fierce discharge of masculine energy, someone has ripped half the faucet off.
В целом ничего нового.
Hot water sprays from the base, and steam covers the mirror. You cannot see yourself, just the outline of a man.
Я помню, я помню. Но мы уже услышали отношение к нашему галстуку. И мы постараемся делать немножко альтернативный выбор. Ну, не все. Так или иначе, часть игры все-таки не может быть альтернативна полностью. Особенно при условии, что мы стараемся понравиться Киму.
Suddenly, you realize you have no memory of the face that awaits you there, underneath the soft vapor. Really, all recollection of the person you are, the people in your life, and even the world you're in has drowned in a sea of blood alcohol. This was no mere night of drinking. It was a deluge of world-ending proportions. As you slowly reach your hand towards the surface of the mirror, Abort. You clearly have not thought this through. You won't like what you see there, and you will never unbecome it. Yeah, there is definitely something wrong with it. Where to even begin? There is the bloatedness, then the swollenness. It's like there's an upholstery of alcohol underneath your skin. Bet you are. Your nose feels like a small balloon in the middle of your face. It hurts when you honk it. It doesn't appear to be a particularly tiny nose either. Not with all the drinks it's absorbed for you. It's not. It's swollen and snail-like, wriggling between your fingers. Don't be scared. It's only your face. It's not like anyone's going to see it. Behold. You have no idea who this thing is, do you? Too late. You clearly have rigor mortis on your face. Oh wait, is that an expression? Are you trying to make an expression with that face? Why? Please stop. It's horrible. You're scaring yourself. Oh my God. You can't stop. It's like it's not even voluntary anymore. You have worn that grin into your face and now it won't come off. What does it even mean? What is the emotion you're trying to convey? There might have been, 10 years ago. It's little more than a cadaverous spasm now.
Ни то, ни другое невозможно, но мы просто на всякий случай попробуем.
It's too late. Like an image on film. The expression belongs to your primary motor cortex. It would take a minor neurological miracle for you to cease producing it. Like the rest of you, it comes from a bad place somewhere in the past. That's all you know for now.
Ну, что ж. Давайте, наконец, выйдем.
The window stands broken in its frame. Cold wind blows in. What do you mean, assess the damage? How would you do that? What are you even trying to do?
А действительно. Ну так или иначе мы все равно заберем наш ботинок. Потому что Гарри, может быть, и не знает, что он там есть, но мы-то знаем. Все, расправил плечи, пошел. Пошел, королева бензопила. Неважно. Ху-ху. Однако, здравствуйте. О, Лиззи, здравствуй. Тин-тин-тин-тин-тин.
There they both are. Two identical shoes, both copiously green and indiscriminately snakeskin, reunited on your feet. Good, they're balanced, comfy. Feels like the only good thing about you right now, truth be told.
Не будем стоять под дождем. О, деньжата. На столе что-то есть, да?
Hello, officer.
И тебе здравствуй. Хотя если ты идешь мимо нее с одним туфлем, она с тобой не здоровается. Я не знаю, взаимодействовать с ней, не взаимодействовать. Честно говоря, я хочу побыстрее увидеть Кима и пойти по делам. К тому же мы с ней раньше разговаривали. Но мы можем просто...
The young woman raises a cigarette to her lips.
сделать вот так. Мы стесняемся. Она слишком клёвая для нас. Мы не помним себя, поэтому просто идем мимо. А, стоит. Стоит наш лебедь. Зайчик наш. Харри, что ты вот это вот руки в боки? Что тебе тут? Не, это были не руки в боки. У тебя просто болит печень, и ты пытаешься с этим что-то сделать. Такой прикольный у него, конечно, цвет волос. Мне кажется, у него было милирование когда-то. В далекой молодости. Вот ну, нужно было так вот это вот все засрать. Как колонка, на самом деле, прикольная. Это же колонка. Угу. Секунду. Мы возьмем вот это. И уже после подойдем к нашему. К лучшему бармену, который не бармен.
A man in his late 20s stands behind the counter, inspecting a stuffed seabird. As you approach, he gives you a sideways glance, then looks down again. That was disdain in his eyes. Even now he's purposely ignoring you.
Oh no, you're a hero. A real hero cop. What kind of question is that? Are you serious right now? I really don't know what to say to that.
Ты не отвечай.
A competent work of taxidermy. The white and brown seabird lies among piles of coasters and drying mugs. One of its wings broken. The man is trying to mend it. Looks like the bird was ripped off the shield that was used to mount it, most likely on a wall. Something about it makes you feel bitter.
Look, your buddy is over there. Why don't you go and talk to him, okay?
У нас немножко поехал текст. Мы будем считать, что это часть состояния Гарри.
He pretends not to hear you, concentrating on the bird instead.
Ну и ладно.
Hello, sweetie. You shouldn't keep your colleague waiting.
Ну. В общем, ладно. Привет, радость моя.
A bespectacled man in an orange bomber jacket is tapping his foot on the floor. Looks like he's waiting for someone. You. As you approach, he narrows his eyes and extends his hand in greeting. If an assault were launched on this building right now, if the windows came crashing down and the whole world descended upon you, this man would hurl himself in death's way to save you. You are sure of this, but why? He is your half-brother.
Hello, I'm Kim Kitsuragi, Lieutenant, Prison 57. You must be from the 41st.
You realize he is waiting for your name. This is your chance to come up with a really good name for yourself. Get creative. Conceptualize. Concentration makes you squint your eyes. Your name should be deep gold and orange, like a forest fire looming on the horizon. but mixed with the stench of liquor rising from your breath. You're 2 steps closer to it, but there are still many to go.
Я надеялась, что мы проебемся, и у нас будет какое-то прикольное имя, но неважно. Давайте придумывать.
Okay then. It looks like we had a little scheduling error on Sunday. Saturday too, actually. Have you had time to talk to the manager here?
Да, это была накладка одной бутылки на другую, на третью, на 25-ю. Ты узнаешь.
If you don't mind, we should talk to him again. Ask him for a rundown of the area. Now that I'm here as well. I understand the scene is out back, right? It also wouldn't hurt to assure him the police are finally here. In full force, I mean. Have you mapped out the initial interviews? Right. And the interviews? Good. But even if you haven't, we'll have time for that after we take a look at the coroner's case. Have you removed the dead body from the tree? Sure. But did you take it down from the tree? Does that mean the body is no longer in the tree? Mm-hmm. So, the body is still in the tree.
This is the first time you detect a weariness in the lieutenant's voice. It is obvious he would have preferred for the body to no longer be in the tree.
Ну, бля. Ладно, я 3 дня бухала. Хули ты приехала на 3 дня позже? Может, что-нибудь и сообразили бы. Хуй знает.
Where it has been hanging for 7 days straight. We should go there as soon as we are done talking to the owner.
Хотя он-то вовремя приехал, просто он, видимо, не понял, что бухое животное, которое бегает туда-сюда, это полицейский.
After you, officer.
Да. Нам известно, что мы офицер. Нам известно, что мы закон.
If you're about to embark on an investigation, shouldn't you have a badge?
Нашло, когда спросить.
You mean you don't have a badge? Losing your identification card is a serious matter. My vehicle has a shortwave. You can use it to report your badge missing. I advise you to try to locate it as quickly as possible, but getting the body down should still take precedence.
On the counter, rolled out of his open hand, you see a blister pack of headache medicine.
Вот на этом этапе он все еще обращается к нему лейтенант или Ким. Надо посмотреть, когда Гарри начнет называть его Ким.
No idea. Looks like he works for Wild Pines, the logistics company who owns and operates the harbor.
Ты специально говоришь тише, чтобы не разбудить человека? Это так мило, Ким.
Possibly because there's a strike going on in the harbor. There's not much to do aside from drinking and sleeping.
The man does not mind. You probably need them more than he does.
Мы возьмем одну майку на улице, и тогда его разбудим. А пока немножко поговорим.
Hello, sweetie.
Wait, who's Sweetie?
Это какая-то дичь, почему, типа, официальная версия делает вот это, когда в пиратке такого не было. Хотя я все переустанавливал, все должно быть хорошо. Ну и ладно.
Why, you are, officer. You're a handsome man, officer, with your mustache and your chiseled jaw and that silly dimple on your chin. Love can be cruel, sweetie. Love can be cruel. You must forgive me. I'm getting so scatterbrained. I completely forgot to introduce myself. I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I are staying with our friend Gary just down the street, but I come here for tea when they're away.
This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her on the spot.
Мне интересно, он примерно так в крыло всех затаскивал. Я не удивлюсь, если он и Транта просто взял на улице и типа ты пойдешь со мной, ты эксцентричный, мне нравится.
Whatever do you mean? Ah, yes. Probably Roll With Me by the Fletchers. People often quote the Fletchers at me. Morel says it's my theme song. Yes, officer. You look rather dazed. Like a stunned fox. But surely things can't be that bad.
She won't judge you, no matter what you say. She nods, but...
Of course, dear. Good luck with your case.
Мне нужно узнать... Секундочку. Мне нужно узнать, тыкнул ли я один бабл. Так, ты уже свалила? Да, я его тыкнул, все хорошо. Мы заполучим ее маленькую ручку. Ну, в смысле, не ручку бабушки, а просто ручку. И у нас будет не карандаш, у нас будет ручка. Что?
That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is. How long have you been up already? Sweet Lord, a whole hour. And you haven't thought about rum and lemonade in all that time? You've truly extinguished all trace of yourself. Maybe you haven't turned out well for your drinking. Have you thought about that? Get a goddamn rum and lemonade into yourself, boy. Or better yet, lick that stain off the counter.
Мы не будем этого делать, потому что главное, что мы качаем в этой игре, это расположение Кима к Цураги.
What happened, man? You used to be cool. Go get your boring normal person drink then. Get your drink on and your act together.
Hello again, sweetie. You know where we are, right? That's right. And where is the Whirling in Rags cafeteria itself located? We're in the city of Revachol, dear. How would I even begin to tell you? Revachol is the most beautiful city in the world. We're fortunate to be here, you and I. I haven't seen very many other cities personally, but everyone says so. Revachol is a rare jewel. This city used to rule the world, though it has seen better days. Speaking of history, you know what year it is. Yes? That's right, dear. How splendid. Here, take this pen. Knowledge should always be rewarded.
Эй, спасибо.
Her relief is palpable. She was getting pretty worried about you there, but now she relaxes her shoulders.
I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government? Oh, sweetie, it's really not. There used to be people who thought that way. Other people who wanted those things, but they all went extinct. Revachol is a zone of control led by an alliance of foreign powers called the Coalition. We have almost no government of our own, and certainly no dictatorship of the proletariat. It is quite disappointing, yes. A lot of people would like some form of representation, There's talk, but for now, the RCM is all we've got. Oh dear, this is troubling. You really ought to know that, being one yourself. There aren't any cops in Revachol, not in the traditional sense. The status of law enforcement has been a complicated matter since the revolution. But we should stop for today, sweetie. You look like you need a break. Besides, I'm not the best person to explain the big things to anyone.
She's scared now. She's realized you really are brain damaged.
You didn't do too well, dear. You really only knew what year it is. It does look like you're having trouble remembering things. History and places. Reality, in a word. It's very odd.
A sigh. The lieutenant buries his nose in his notebook.
But maybe a fresh set of eyes is what the world needs. And while I'm no doctor, such bouts of amnesia are often temporary, so I wouldn't worry too much.
She means this sincerely. Worrying won't do you any good.
A defeat, I'm afraid. The people of this archipelago tried to build something new, something different. The rest of the world didn't like it, so they came and ended it. This was 42 years ago. It has something to do with everything. I really don't know how to explain it better.
I'm just a poor woman, she thinks. What do I know of these things? An hour.
Someone more educated in sweeping matters. Maybe you should ask.
No. I'm not an encyclopedia. I won't be a guide either. I'm a detective.
Of course. Then I don't know. Someone rich, maybe? Wealthy people are educated. Though I don't know where you would find a wealthy person in Martinez.
The man with the unimpressive beard notices you approaching. He drops the ledger he was holding and turns to the lieutenant.
Mr. Gart, right? You run this place.
Yes.
I am Kim Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. This is an inter-district investigation, so joining me from Precinct 41...
What? I have no idea what that means. What is this, a joke to you? Is this what you get when you call the police now? This guy? We've been waiting for a week here.
Ты ничего не понимаешь, Гашт. Ты просто ничего не понимаешь. Никто не понимает. Ну и ладно.
Sir, I understand your concern, but we are here to do a job. And for us to do it, I need you to stay calm.
Yes, of course.
For a moment, the man fidgets under the lieutenant's gaze. Then he gives in.
Прижали тебя, да?
I know it took us a while to arrive at the scene, but it also took you a while to call us. It was you who placed the call, correct?
No, I only just got here. It was probably Sylvie who called you. She usually works the bar here. I'm only temporarily taking over her duties.
Do you have her number?
As a matter of fact, I do.
You said you just got here. From where? Are you a local?
What, of Martinez? No, I live in Jamrock. I only sometimes come here to keep an eye on the place. This is just one of the many, many cafeterias I manage.
But you still know your way around, yes? In case we need directions.
Мне просто нужна постканонная ситуация, в котором в любом кафетерии, в котором управляет Гашт, мы должны просто побывать и побесить его.
Yes, I know where some things are, but as I said, I don't live here. I just used to work here. And I'm not going to start working here again, if that's what you think.
Вот понимаете, насколько Мартинес ужасное место, что на его фоне даже джемрокские кафешки — это типа очень неплохо.
I didn't imply that. Detective, I have everything. You?
Yes, yes. He means, do you have questions for me, like a police officer would?
Ты мне еще будешь указывать, что полагается офицеру.
Behind this building, there's a courtyard. They hoisted him up on a tree there. That's easy. See that door there? First you exit through that. Then, to your right, you should see a big hole in the fence. A really big one. You can get to the courtyard through there. No need for the keys. The hole is big enough for the Franco-Nigerian cavalry to fit through.
Does he want you to feel guilty of making that hole? It's implied in his voice.
I don't know who killed him. I'm not the police. That's your job.
The lieutenant turns the page in the little notebook he's been scribbling in.
She went away because none of your business. Extra fine.
Let's go.
Not so fast. You owe me 130 real.
No one is saying the multi-pattern necktie you found tied to the ceiling fan can talk. No one. It must be merely imagination. But
Let's bail! Time to push the eject button! Sounds like a responsibility! You don't like those!
Здравствуй, мой дорогой.
no, don't listen to him. It's madness. Just talk.
Нет, давайте все-таки попробуем убежать. Я не сохранился, но... Блять. Я хочу врезаться в Лену. Это просто самый лучший способ. Но мне не нравится, что у нас такие высокие шансы. О!
One moment you're running like the wind. Then you've suddenly turned around and are giving him the finger, furiously, with both hands. Why? That's true. Yes. And it's worrying. But let's not fixate on it. Look at that stupid bartender instead. He has no idea what's going on. You and your fuck you fingers floating in the air. Barkeep's got his mouth agape like an idiot. You showed him.
Ну вот.
Watch out!
Everything goes dark.
Back so soon. Admit it, you just missed the quarter light, the darkness on the edge of town. I was wrong to let you go. I should have kept you here. Is it bright where you are? Is it terrifying? Have you felt the love?
Вот чего только точно не почувствовал, так это любви. Ну, Гарри, ты начал, ты просто не заметил. Там, типа, появилась твоя любовь, но она такая, типа, она еще маленькая. Ты поймешь, что она большая к концу дня.
What do you mean? What do I mean? Are you okay?
No, you have sustained a trauma to your lower neck. In addition, you have strained your left trapezius muscle. Pain surges down your back when you move.
The chair took the brunt of it. Don't worry.
Are you sure, ma'am?
Yes. Check on him.
Sir, I didn't mean for this to happen. I'm sorry. This has always been a cop-friendly place. The drinks are on the house, okay? There were a lot of drinks on the tab. I still have to charge you for 3 nights and the broken window, though. That's 100 square.
У меня был шанс спустить это до 60, но я не могу. Видимо, слишком низкая драма.
Don't thank me yet. You still owe me 100 real. If you don't have it by tonight, I just can't let you up there.
Знаете ли, Агаш на самом деле как бы такую фигурку имеет, ну ничего так для бармена.
And for God's sake, watch out for yourself.
By the way, where is home? The address is coming up blank, and this place sure isn't it. But you've been at this hostel cafeteria for only 3 nights. Where were you before? You had to be somewhere. Why did you say that?
И он все еще обращается к нему лейтенанты прям полностью.
No. But isn't that an expression, not a place? A saying, up on Marvel Hill, a great high place, one that is impossible to climb back to.
That doesn't sound like somewhere you can stay if you run out of money. You can try. Run some addresses in your head when you get the time. Maybe a street or an apartment will appear.
Что?
All around you, rain falls on the great city of Rivershore. Rain drips from the eaves and floods the gutters, washing the filth away. The spring thaw must be here. The snow is melting.
То есть тут у нас раньше появляется штука с трепетом? Или это потому, что у нас, в принципе, высшие характеристики с ним?
Looking up at the sky, cold water dripping from your hair. Grey sky like great battleships, clouds colliding with one another. Rain falls down on the world. Your shirt sticks to your chest. The shoulders of your disco blazer grow heavy. The cold finds its way in under your skin. You shiver, and the city shivers with you. You're not dressed for this weather. You should get an overcoat or a patrol cloak.
This rain will not let up anytime soon. You should get a raincoat. There's a freight to the east. They sell them there.
Ты мой хороший, заботишься обо мне. Да, нам бы разжиться, но, к сожалению, он стоит 4 реала, а у меня 40 септимов. Ти-ти-ти-ти-ти-ти. И дождь прекратился.
What do you want to know? I'm afraid you and I are pawns in a pissing competition.
His disdain is clear. This man would not use such an expression otherwise.
You don't know? I assumed you were in on it. That's good. It's just stupidity. We shouldn't waste any more time on it. If you want my take, ask me after we've inspected the victim. Later. Was there anything else you wanted to know about the case? Maybe you can tell me what you do know to help me narrow it down a bit. Do you want me to brief you? 3 days ago, the RCM Emergencies Desk received a report about a security guard who was found hanged in Martinez. An anonymous caller said there was a dead body behind the Whirling in Rags hostel cafeteria. The cadaver had been there for 4 days. No one had come to investigate. During that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. The caller did not identify him, but used the word lynching. There is an ongoing labor dispute between the local dock workers and the logistics company Wild Pines. I was told we should approach the death as part of this dispute. A security guard or worker of some sort, hired by Wild Pines. This was just hearsay from Martinez, of course. We need to find out the truth. They didn't identify themselves in any way. The tone was muffled using a device of some sort. The desk could identify neither the caller's age nor sex. There's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's seen as union matters. The dock workers' union is the de facto police in Martinez. Now it appears they've started executing too. We cannot allow that. That's us, the Revachol Citizens Militia. We're the police in this city. Just to be clear, we are police officers. It's our job to find the killer. That's the case. Uncover and arrest the killer. No, it's not a particularly mysterious case. The deceased is a security guard for a corporation involved in a labor dispute. It doesn't take a DeLorean polymath to put the pieces together. I just don't see the case getting more mysterious than that.
Если мы с ним согласимся, ну типа вот тут, то у нас будет плюсик в карму от него. Так что давайте согласимся.
I'm relieved that you agree.
He is glad and surprised to see an officer who can appreciate the less than spectacular.
На самом деле, Гарри как раз ценит. Ух, просто у него амнезия.
Do you know the feeling when you've begun filling in a crossword, but some of your answers don't quite seem to fit? That's the feeling I have right now, for some reason. It will turn into quite the puzzle yet, I'm afraid.
О, этого диалога у нас, кстати, не было. Это клево.
Good. Me? I don't see how my life is pertinent to the investigation.
Эта мысль вообще лишняя, ее нужно уничтожить, сжечь и обоссать.
That's a fair point. All right, for the good of the investigation, what do you want to know? That's because I'm half Seolite, or quarter. My father's father was from Seoul, so was my grandmother, but from my mother's side. It's not an interesting topic. It's a part of the world, officer. A geopolitical entity and a geographic division. I told you it wouldn't be interesting. I can see you're disappointed. You are right to be. I don't speak a word of Seolite. I've never met either one of my grandparents. I've never been to Seoul. I'm a regular, garden variety Ravacholière.
He's glad to have shut down your question.
Ну, я не старался тебя обидеть.
That's correct.
That makes him a Binoclad. Completely uncopped material, if you say so yourself.
Сдерживаемся изо всех сил, сдерживаем свою токсичную маскулинность.
Are they? They are mostly just cumbersome.
Это просто мем. У тебя красивые глаза. Thank you. Они не работают.
You could use a good, normal peer yourself.
Согласен. Согласен.
What do you mean? I have no idea what you're talking about. I can't say that it does, no. When I need to think, I just use my notebook.
The lieutenant produces his small blue notebook and idly thumbs through a few pages. That's where his conversations with himself take place. You're super lucid, yet psychedelic. You don't need office supplies to connect to your nervous system. You're special.
No.
Он уже начинает это делать, он уже начинает пытаться нас подавить.
Your brain sends the signal to your lips, but they refuse the order. Something is paralyzing them. You're pretty sure it has something to do with the lieutenant's eyebrow. The eyebrow is exercising psionic control over you.
Something the matter, detective?
This guy's got authority off the charts. With just the flick of his eyebrow, he's able to make you his thrall. Nothing. You better hope he doesn't abuse his authority. There's a lot of it. If the lieutenant were an evil man, who knows what sort of havoc he could wreak. Fortunately, he is a committed officer of the RCM. He'll only use his powers for the good of the investigation. The lieutenant relaxes his eyebrow, and you seem to regain control of yourself.
Good. Let's change the subject.
Нам нужно сюда. Мы с тобой поговорим попозже. А это где? Нет, нет. Какие же тут сложные срезы, ёб твою мать. Вот сюда. Да. Обрыганная майка, отлично. Вот так. Но даже она чище, чем наша атласная рубашка, я полагаю. Привет, пацаны. Все еще собираем на дождевик. Потому что если Ким сказал, что нам нужен дождевик, нам нужен дождевик. Отлично. Уже 4 стоит, давайте посмотрим. На самом деле 4 реала для дождевика это прям дохера.
You see several packaged raincoats
Да,
fill
сука.
a low shelf beneath.
Это прям много. Ну типа 20 реалов это одна ночь в гостинице. А он стоит 4. Нам нужно... Ой, блин, а мы сможем сделать физучую силу? Я надеюсь, что сможем. Так, что у нас здесь? Очень мало. У нас очень низкая координация. Давайте попробуем физучую силу. Она нам нужна. Мы попробуем себе взять мысль с законной челюстью и с физучей силой. Но нам нужно будет проебать бросок. Мы постараемся. Но его очень сложно проебать, потому что он легкий.
Have you no shame? Whining about your back every time you bring out the measuring tape.
René, you're a man with a fork in a world of soup. Please, let's just try to enjoy the game, all right?
I'm trying to, but you keep breaking my concentration. You're old. I can see that. We're both old. Now stop grabbing your ass like it's a girl.
These manly men are playing balls. This is a ball game. Grab a ball and play it. Don't ask questions. Shoot first. Ask questions never. No, you got this. There's the ball. You're the game.
See? Your munching and complaining have ruined my concentration.
Ah, mon Dieu. The pain in my back is unbearable. I can't even say if it's in my back or hip anymore. Feels like it's in both.
I hope you pass out from it, you goddamn jellyfish. Men like you are the reason this nation is sinking.
Shush. Ignore them. They don't know what they're doing. They're old. You are letting down yourself and the team. Get in the damn game already. Doesn't matter what team. Pick a team. Any team. The blue team. You're letting them down. Get in the game and throw the goddamn ball. Eyes on the ball, Dinky Winky.
Отлично.
This felt wrong. Wrong like touching your sister's breast. You threw your sister's breast.
Mon Dieu! Good job, officer. That was an excellent throw.
Да, он должен был лететь в океан метров на 20.
There are no two more harmful words an athlete can hear than good job. And this was downright embarrassing. Your muscle memory knew what to do and went for it, but there were gaps. Yeah, gaps you tried to fill with thinking. We don't think in sports. We do. It felt like you were going for a thrust or a lunge. There was definitely gonna be jumping. Maybe you scored a point, but this is a fiasco.
What are you talking about? You just executed a pretty much perfect pétanque throw.
With a pinch of fear.
How are you ever going to get the officer's shit off your nose, Gaston? Or even climb out of his ass?
Да что ты такой злой? Хотя я понимаю, для моей задницы нужен только Ким.
The man in the uniform says nothing. His gaze is fixed on the horizon. His merry partner is staring at the ground like he's trying to see right through to the other side. The lieutenant is looking at you. His face is expressionless.
Unfortunately, I don't. Unlike most of the locals, I have no qualms about assisting law enforcement, but this affair has passed me by completely. In Martinez, the Union is the law, so can you really blame them? Cop is a pejorative term. I don't have a problem with policemen. On the contrary, I admire the effort to bring order to our streets. If I knew, I would not be afraid to tell you. I simply don't. I'm an old man, not a coward. The daily business of the riffraff no longer concerns me.
This is a man with a lot of past, but little present, and almost no future.
Yes. The terrain here provides an interesting variety to a familiar game. I do. Fire from heavy artillery.
Heavy artillery fire, you say? That's the best kind of artillery fire. Very interesting.
Why what? Because that's what happens when communards hijack your country, execute your supreme leadership, and turn your capital into a slaughterhouse. You use heavy ordnance to clean up your home. Commies, communists, socialists, anarchists, call them what you like. They just chose a name to feel special. Senseless sentimentality. Sadly, no. It was the foreigners who brought them to their knees. We fought valiantly. Too valiantly. So valiantly we got licked. Should have fought dirty, like they did with their suicide sex cult propaganda and mad anarchist women strapped to shrapnel bombs. We didn't though, and we lacked caliber. God bless him, but the suzerain's cannons simply weren't big enough. Because this place is a damn beachhead. Had to soften the commies up first. Yes, the military coordinated amphibious landing to take back Revachol.
He finds your lack of historic knowledge troubling, a sign of mental deterioration in the preceding generations.
Martinez was used as one of the 3 footholds in Revachol during Operation Deathblow in 08. The other 2 are off in Stella Maris and the Delta. This here is Blood Ground, where Coalition boots first made landfall and cleaned those rabid dogs out. Most likely, we're playing pétanque on their mangled corpses.
Blood ground. You got old René going there. Like he isn't hungry enough already.
Don't get me wrong, officer. I hate those foreign dogs, but the enemy of my enemy and all that. They're the lesser evil. Damn right, son. They laid the fire of hell on the city before they stormed it. And it worked, too.
He approves of this radical approach, knows it was necessary.
The rest of the city got cleaned up, but Martinez they keep as a monument. And now the Union Socialists are practically running the place.
Well, it's your own damn fault. You, we, the Coalition, Revachol, whoever you want to blame, never finished the job. Officially, the party never surrendered. Of course they still all influence.
You don't even begin to truly understand the players on the table, let alone the specific circumstances surrounding the... What do you think? Preposterous! Surely you don't mean it. I'm just sorry it had to be them. After 8 years of fighting those commie hyenas, boiling cats for food and drinking my piss in the mountains, I would have preferred if the Right Honorable King Guillaume returned through Revachol, or even if that damn clan Frisel had risen from the grave and led us. Sadly, that was not the case.
This royal failure weighs heavily on him.
Instead, all that is just, holy, and beautiful in the world was wiped away, and now it's neon signs with toothpaste ads everywhere. Foreign influence peddling garbage and stupid music on the radio. This is just what the commies wanted. This was their plan all along. This is what they wanted to replace the role of the suzerain with. The suzerain is the king! Has everyone forgotten already? They've forgotten already.
Soon, they will forget everything. Him too. Then he chooses anger over melancholy.
It's no use talking to you. You were still in Daddy's balls when it happened. When we took our last stand against the filth and rode the cavalry straight into gunfire.
Son, you've really let yourself go. It's a disgrace. But Coach Physical Instrument is going to get you back in prime condition, even if it takes 1,000,000 push-ups. Does a master swordsman insult his own blade? No. I'm going to turn you into an athletic benchmark, you big pussy. It's going to take blood, sweat, piss, and tears. But when I'm done with you, boy, you will be a master athlete. When a man sets his mind and body on something and gives his 110%, he is sometimes going to piss himself. It just happens. No sh. Behold, world. Here walks a sportsman, hands choked and hair kept back with a bandana. The Homo Athleticus.
Очень верная формулировка Homo Athleticus. Все верно. Homosexual, Homo Athleticus. Отлично. Наш лучший друг. Желтый пакет. Нам нужно сообщить об утере удостоверения. И еще что-нибудь. Просто сразу соберем все контейнеры, которые есть. Ким, тут можешь ты немножечко... Вот. Спасибо. Ким, ты мешаешь мне собирать бутылки. Я понимаю, что это очень недостойное поведение, но я очищаю город. Это благородное дело.
Traveler from another planet. Hey there. You sure are, my man. It's the jam, my man. It's a traffic jam for the ages. Harbor gates up the street are shut tight. No explanation given. Workers on strike, scabs agitating, an all-around clusterfuck. Meanwhile, we're all stuck here in long-haul limbo for days upon days upon days. Yeah, exactly. Feels like forever. Like I was born on this here roundabout and this was all I ever knew. Just me and the metal and the tires, the oil and the fumes of mazout. Yeah, imagine. It's been a whole week already.
Behind the laugh, however, a touch of sorrow.
So tell me, what do you need? Huh? Oh, no, I ain't got any money. They don't want to pay for unfinished work. The bosses, man. Yeah, it sure ain't good for me. Or you. I'd spare a coin or two for a city cop down in his luck. If I had, say, 4 myself. He ain't one of us drivers. I know that. All accounted for. Otherwise, I haven't really asked about that. Been wasting time right here. Keep him busy. Analyzing the fundamental structural and psychological conditions of being stranded in the midst of a sea of motor lorries and their sad, despondent chauffeurs. A sense of surprise there ain't more bodies hanging from more trees. It's like, whatever's going on over at the docks. Workers got a blockade set up, making demands, no way in or out. Some pretty wild stuff, I hear. Like a giant new power crane in half the company? I forget what exactly. Good on them, I guess. I've heard talk there's a company rep in town, too. Like a strike negotiator type. They'd know what's up. Precise demands and so on.
Ah, yes, from the Wild Pines. We'll meet her soon enough, I'm sure.
Anything else? Yeah, this ain't really my area of expertise. I just do my job and get paid. I have things to do and places to be. All of us do. Us lorry drivers. Camionneurs. You still hang around here waiting for this mess to end. Most have scurried off somewhere to get drunk or high. Or laid. Not that I blame them, really. Not my thing. Chasing transient pleasures is a drag these days. I prefer the examined life now. Thinking, reflecting, observing.
What's better than chasing transient pleasures? The more transient, the better. When one's ended, you can get onto the next one.
Don't be a stranger.
Before you stands a motor carriage. The bodywork is covered in blue and white livery, bearing the number 57. Vapor emanates from the large engine on the back of the vehicle. It hasn't had time to cool off yet. In the cabin, you are welcomed by a set of steering levers, a radio microphone on a hook, a pull-out toolbox under the seat, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge.
И где-то здесь мы начинаем говорить Ким.
This is the Kupris Kinema, my motor carriage. You can use the toolbox and the radio if you'd like.
Motor carriage, motor carriage. Something bad with a motor carriage. A dark lump rises in your throat.
A motorized vehicle, officer. I'm sure you are familiar with the concept. We've had these for nearly a century.
Nothing, nothing. It's probably nothing. Forget I brought it up. Please proceed with the carefree lollygagging.
The Kupris motorcar does provide most of our patrol vehicles, yes. No, I'm afraid not. We have a murder case on our hands, remember?
In the cabin, you see a set of steering levers, a radio on a hook, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge. As you tap on the gauge, the indicator pin jerks as if startled. It's in the large orange sector, indicating the engine is warm. Next to the gauge is a red switch labeled heat.
There's no use pressing the heat button. It won't start without the ignition key.
Alternative translation. Don't even think you can drive my MC. The white suede feels luxurious under the touch, and the metal clutch handle so very familiar in your palm. A metallic drawer slides out from under the seat and clicks into place. The tools inside are neatly organized.
Take what you need, officer. It's going to be a long case. I'm not protective of my tools, like some men are.
He's clearly a little protective of his tools. But what can you do? Work is work. The pry bar feels nice and cold in your hand. Cold and heavy, like truth. You feel like you're reunited with truth once more. Useful for opening all sorts of doors and lids. The handles are long and sleek. Snap, snap, it's robust, weatherproof, and well-made. Lets you see things in the dark. The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest. Preheater gauge casts a warm glow on the steering levers and the radio on its hook.
The RCM in Martinez. What can I help you with? We don't see a lot of police around here, that's all. Of course. What can I help you with? Of course. Where to? Oh, that's right there, in the yard.
She's relieved someone has come for it, finally.
What do you mean? We're in Martinez, sir. No problem. Me? I am just a gardener. I am pleased to meet you too, officer.
Я обожаю то, как она на нас смотрит, потому что она вроде крохотуля, но у нее бровь, знаешь, она претендует на степень бравастости Кима, на такой же авторитет. Но мне кажется, он победит ее, причем, знаете, с разгромом. Если захочет, но он не захочет. Он не бьет детей.
Of course. I won't hold you back.
Her gloves. You get the feeling that you need them. You have a dead body to deal with after all.
Sure, keep them. I have another pair.
The tear machine stands in the... Your bottles clunk. Do you know what you should do with that money, kiddo? You should buy more alcohol. Enter the endless cycle of consumption.
Нет. Нам нужно найти еще десяток бутылок, и тогда мы купим себе желтый дождевик. Наша главная цель на сегодня — желтый дождевик. И пока у нас есть монтировка, пиздавали. О, кстати, мы можем... сходить сюда. Не к телу, конечно, потому что визуальный анализ у нас говно.
An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material, eternite. Because it's nice and... No, there's more to this. You get this strange feeling. Hard to say. It's gone now. Feelings pass, you see. Especially the small ones.
Чувствую, что я здесь уже был и оставил там свой плащ. Давайте еще вот десяток реалов. Одну бутылку. Я думаю, она там есть. Нет, не 10 реалов, а 10 септимов. Дай мне здесь бутылку. Так, отлично. Ким. Я... Зачем ты это сделал? Как... Вот мы думаем, что Гарри криптит, но мне кажется, на фоне Кима это...
This trash container, there's something in there. Not necessarily connected to the case, but still. The body is downwind from here. Maybe you prefer the smell of garbage to the smell of death.
А теперь снова лейтенант.
Trash, food waste from the cafeteria. They lock these containers to keep the derelicts from flocking in. Could be evidence too. We could try using a pry bar, the one you took from my motor carriage, or...
Did someone say pry bar? Really? Your muscles are down with either one.
Or we could ask for a key from the manager of the Whirling in Rags. He probably has one.
Ask the manager? Bullshit. Go straight for the pry bar and pry this baby wide open. This trash container is locked.
Кстати, все еще мало. А что нам даст? Как много мы исследуем грубую физическую силу? Кстати, очень даже неплохо. Можно было бы, конечно, с кунцом поговорить, но мы не поговорим. О, кстати, раз у нас есть майка. Привет, мужик.
The worker is in a deep... Perhaps he's on his way to where you just came from. Into the primordial darkness.
Прекрасно.
You gently shake his shoulder.
В смысле?
But nothing happens. This man could probably sleep soundly in a ship's engine room.
Ебать он спит. Что за безобразие?
Can I help you? Mine? No, it belongs to the Whirling in Rags.
Thank you for clearing that up. Why do you keep the container locked?
Ты сам же сказал, чтобы это типа бомжиры не растаскали.
Why? To keep the hobos and drunks out. That's why. And the neighbors too. They put their trash there and they don't pay for the garbage company.
I thought as much. And are you the only party with access to the trash container?
Well, yes. Us and the garbage disposal company.
It seems a little callous, doesn't it? Something stirs in you. Prod at him and find out.
Callous? What are you, Kras Mazov? Almost all establishments in Revachol keep their trash locked. The Whirling in Rags is not special in that regard. What do you need them for?
It concerns the case. Please cooperate.
Just bring them back once you're done, please.
Hey. Psst. Psst. Hey, you. Yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again. Yes, you're ready to start building communism again. You've built it before. They've built it before. Hasn't really worked out yet. But neither has love. Should we just stop building love, too?
Мы не можем спорить с риторикой. Ведь если можно начать заново строить коммунизм, можно начать заново строить отношения с Кимом.
So, what about all that communism you've promised to build? Word on the street is you've woken up from 1,000 years of slumber, promising to erect a version of communism many times greater than any attempted before. Is that true? You keep saying things like, down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich, sodomize the landowners, impale all people who have more than 25 real in their pocket, literally murder all human beings regardless of their political beliefs. That kind of stuff. Oh yes, the mask of ambivalence. Don't deny it. You're about to rip it off and reveal the monstrous seven-eyed lamb of global communism that would devour and masticate mankind. Everyone can see that. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism builder? Or do we get right down to it? Failure. It's about failure. Yes, abject failure. Total, irreversible defeat on all fronts. Absolutely vanquished, beaten, curb-stomped and pissed on. Until you came along. You will reverse the fortune of the workers of the world. You alone, against every living thing, against every human alive. 800 trillion real in the hands of an impossibly well-organized ruling class. Towering city blocks of bankmen who have the ears of prime ministers. Million-headed armies of nations and the love of your own mother. You against the atom, the charm and the spin, where the whole world failed. Matter failed to bend to human will. Human will failed to get out of bed and tie its laces. You alone, single-handedly, will rebuild the dreams of the working class. You are the last communist. Now get to work, comrade.
Мы решили качать коммуниста, так что давайте качать коммуниста.
Oh yeah, get the firing squads and the animal wagons ready. Too late to back out now. You can't make an omelette without breaking a few million eggs. Coach, physical instrument. Wait, how did you know all those hammer throw techniques? How do you know how to hold a discus? Or the world youth record in discus? Something doesn't add up here. This mushy thing between your ears didn't know the name of the city you're in, but it comes loaded with trivia about the correct chin position of a shot-put ball. Could it be that... Shut up, namby-pamby. This train of thought ends abruptly. It's leg day. Straighten your rhombus muscle. It's shirts versus skins. Take your shirt off, Namby. Your skins.
Такие дела. Факты для очкариков. И у нас на картинке есть мороженка. Блять, еще ниже визуальный анализ. У нас он будет -1 или что? Я не хочу ее сейчас думать. Ужас. Ну типа, да, это -1 на визуальный анализ. Это вообще не подходит. Отвратительно, 0 из 10. Давайте снимем майку. Это отличная мысль.
The worker is in a deep slumber.
Как назло, сука. А как я разблокирую эту проверку? Она была идеальной. Вот надо было её так проебать. Так, у нас есть ключ. У нас есть ключ. Тыры-ты-ты-тыры-ты-ты-тыры-ты-ты.
This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says, whirling in rags.
У нас как бы есть ключ, но давайте попробуем. Если не получится,
This
просто
trash
откроем
container
ключом.
is locked. The sliding... You stick the pry bar into the fissure beneath the lid and push down. It doesn't take much force. With a satisfying crack, the metal gives way. You can... Don't. Maybe you shouldn't. There is, but you won't like it. Sweat forms on your brow. Your hand is still on the lid.
Состояние Кима, когда мы сходили за ключом за каким-то хуем. Я просто открылся монтировкой. У нас все еще есть ключ, но монтировка.
The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste.
We're just in time. This hasn't been emptied for over a week.
You see milk and egg rest with one broken egg in it. Some pasta wrapper. Picking up the soggy packages somehow feels familiar. A box falls into pieces in your hands. Batiste Soleil cereal. There are plastic pasta packages below. And turbo noodles. Nothing of note, however. Among the threadbare kitchen towels, something catches your eye. A pair of denim trousers. As the legs of the slime-covered jeans begin to unspool from the garbage, a rank corpse smell fills the air.
The victim's clothes? Cadaverine odor is faint. If these belong to the deceased, they were removed when he was still in the early stages of decay. Drop them in here, officer. Guitar-marked blue jeans. Pockets empty or emptied. He wore them with a belt, too, a white belt. The loops appear stretched, but the belt is missing. That's it. Do you see anything else in there? I have another bag here.
Something slimy catches your eye. A drab, long-sleeved shirt, olive-colored, appears from the food waste, dripping with pus.
This is a military-type overgarment. No label or serial number. This is the kind of rib-knit shirt that's worn over light armor to conceal it in an urban scenario. Anything more?
The rest of the rags are just kitchen variety waste. A yellow old mug that catches your eye. But other than that...
All right. We should go to Gart again and ask if he knows who put the clothes in the trash. It could be as simple as someone from the hostel cleaning the yard. Or that one. I'd advise against confronting that force. Not really. All we know is the victim's clothes are in the trash, the lid was locked, and his establishment had the key. It's just a small loose thread.
The fuck's he on about? Kids? You hear that, Kuno? He thinks you're an infant or something.
See?
The lieutenant nods, then looks back into the trash container. It's just organic waste, cold and slimy on your hands. Apple and potato peels, mostly. Unidentified sludge, and the occasional chicken bone thrown in for good measure. But hey. Nothing. It's nothing. Nothing more to see here. What's this? A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. It's shiny. Looks like the corner of something. Something larger. A clipboard. A blue plastic clipboard with moist papers hanging from it. They look badly damaged, but you can still make out forms and notes, written in a man's handwriting.
Officer, is that your paperwork? It is. Look. The plastic has the RCM street grid on it. You've even got an autopsy form in there. If you don't mind me asking, how did this get in the trash? What are you talking about? Doeth thou also thorough inventories? You should take stock of your notes. Make sure it's all there. Official notes contain informants' names. If some of it has fallen into the hands of the RCM's adversaries, bloodletting may well ensue.
Мне интересна его реакция. Я хочу, чтобы Ким нам приказал, но он не может на самом деле.
I see, yes. You are what we call a badass, aren't you? Tell me, seeth your badass more in there, or are we done here? Ah, yes, and it would also be appropriate to start taking notes on the case. It's what cops do.
You pick out a broken mug with an oddly racist depiction of the yellow man frolicking in saffron. Only in its social sensibility.
Mm-hmm.
The container sounds a muffled gong.
That's one thing off the list. I think we got it all.
Ага, я так понимаю, у нас настолько низкий визуальный анализ, что мы даже не видим здесь колес. Ага, понятно, понятно. Именно поэтому нам нужно поговорить с Джойс, чтобы она дала нам мысль. И мы должны были пойти к ней именно после мусорного бака. Здравствуй, хорошая женщина.
A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good morning, officers. I'm Joyce. Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM. Nothing, honestly. I've said it to every drunk in town, and you're the first one who's responded.
What is implied here? That you're a drunk?
Of course you're not. It was only a joke. I'm glad to see you here. I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. but I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
There's a trace of irony in his voice. Mischief, even. The lieutenant is hatching some scheme.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group.
It's hard to get a read on her precise disposition, but she appears helpful.
Quite a few things, I'm afraid. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. And this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice.
How curious. Why is that, Detective?
Awkwardness washes over the conversation. The woman doesn't like this turn of events.
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode? Oh dear. Some kind of encephalopathic amnesia. I don't even know how to respond. I do believe you, naive as that may sound. I simply can't imagine what you gain by faking such a condition.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM.
Of course, I sympathize, but I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
Hang on. She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement. I mean, favors for favors. A dirty alliance of some sort. Feelings will guide the way.
В смысле? Почему мы проебываем огромные шансы в этом прохождении?
I assure you, it is no small matter for me either. We all share the responsibility for disarming this situation. I hope you have a badge for me as soon as possible. Trust me, officer, I am fully committed to resolving this impasse. This isn't some side gig for me.
She's silent. The wind flaps the sail above her.
Officer. You know, I don't mean to sound cold, but if you want something, you have to give something back. More than just guilt.
You're doing it. Despite your own best efforts, you're still getting in. Some.
I'll be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something tangible. The Union is conducting drug trade out of the harbor. It's an open secret in Martinez. Surely it must not come as a complete surprise to the RCM either. Perhaps it's time to look into it. Or you can find your badge, which honestly seems like a lost cause.
Detective, a word in private before we continue.
Ким, я
This is
пытался.
not going quite as I hoped it would, Detective. Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance, and not volunteer us to be her henchmen.
Ким, шансы были очень высокие. Я сделал все, что мог. Даже подумал о непристойностях рядом с тобой.
This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played straight into her hands.
У нас опять идет дождь, а мы без дождевика. Ужасно.
He doesn't let it show. But there is a limit to how much the consequences of your unprofessional behavior can cost the investigation.
Давайте немножко извинимся.
I'm sure you will, Detective. No. If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. Otherwise, she could claim we are siding with the Union, or that we are on their take. We'd never hear the end of it. What I propose is, we ask her, Then we investigate, briefly. But do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done and demand for her information on the lynching. Oh, that would be fantastic, but do we have the time? The world is large and your badge is 8 by 6 centimeters. You could request a new one from your station, but that would literally take months.
Нам все еще нужна мысль про Жемовил.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? This reality. Ah, yes. The episode.
Don't be phased, madame. He functions perfectly well. He only needs a lowdown on all of reality.
We may be here a while then. Ask away, officer. I'll help however I can.
All right, you're in. Begin with the first one. You'll appear worldly.
Но я, честно говоря, не помню, как прийти к этой мысли.
We're in Martinez, baby. A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover, pay it no heed. Aren't we all? Martinez is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour, north of the 881 and Jamrock. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten, even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. It has its charms, just not this time of year. I would be happy to. What is a preposterously expensive education for, if not sharing? A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions? Some sort of krill hunter? No, wait. You're an ancient ruin. A symbol of hubris and decay. Half submerged in some salty sea. Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games. Ah! This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislaine, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot. Or two. A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old. This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course. Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off. Splat, splat. Wonderful.
Как она нас слышит?
We're in Martinez. Martinez is... You would be excused for not knowing about it. It's not really a sea, it's... Yes. We're on an island in an ocean.
Vast, lukewarm and unknowable, flowing in and out of sight.
Caillou. Imagine a pebble. A smoothed-over pebble amidst a great blue sea, misshapen, cracked. The cracks are the River Esperance. We're in the delta of this river, on the 6th branch, the Martinez distributary.
It is clear this pebble is of enormous value to her.
Revachol? Revachol is what you call a city. The great kind.
As if it's self-explanatory. Beyond patriotism.
History detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our centuries. They say it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. By that I mean, we are standing
Ладно, я
on a
просто попытаюсь
fertile,
найти мысль.
self-sufficient island, able to sustain up to 200 million people, in the middle of the Insulindic Ocean, the world's connective tissue. Oh, we're quite a way off. About 22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the bank of the world building. The bottom floors are Insiacom.
Silence. She lowers her hand. The water, the light. It's as though you're seeing it for the first time.
О, здесь.
There is no recognition, only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it. She observes your eyes scanning the horizon, then breaks the silence, slowly. This is one thought you need to complete. Where are you?
Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember something about a lowdown.
This has been informative. Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure my memory-impaired partner has many more questions to ask, about even more fundamental aspects of reality. Might I suggest not asking them all right now? Ma'am, Messier will be here later too, and tomorrow. Isn't that true, ma'am?
Absolutely. My commitment here is long-term.
It's better not to eat all your candy at
Он
once.
снова обращается к нему лейтенант.
Indeed. I'm always at your service. Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Of course, Detective. Take care.
И jamais vu. 3 часа. О, нам нужно повысить визуальный анализ, потому что это капец. Это же, блядь, это невозможно. Это отвратительно. Мы получили мысль и почти полдень в рамках игры. Поэтому я думаю, мы завершим. Я думаю, мы будем делать типа одна игра и половина дня. Ну, типа один стрим и вот половина их рабочего дня. Вот этих двоих. Тогда у нас получается, типа, в среднем мы за 5-6 дней управимся. Это 10 или около того стримов. Мне кажется, будет нормально. Поэтому мы сейчас позвоним в участок, скажем, что какое огромное колесо, ёпт. Я и не думал. Оно нам по грудь. Позвоним в участок, скажем, что мы потеряли наше удостоверение, нас обосрут. И, в общем-то, на этом мы сегодня закончим.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge. The frequency tableau lights up, and the green button labeled Prime Line glows like a feline eye. And then you hear something. The soft purr of electrical kittens, radio waves cast far and wide over the metropolis. A woman's voice greets you through the static.
This is Precinct 57. Hello, Lieutenant. How may I assist you?
Мы еще можем как-то с Алисой поговорить. Вот с этой. Но я не знаю как.
Hello, Alice. Please assist our colleague from the 41st precinct here. I'm putting him on.
This is Officer Alice Demetri, Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Just a second, officer.
10-2, 10-5. This is 41st. Come in. Over.
A scrawny old man sits in a dusty cubicle, smoking, with a large white rectangle sewn on his vest. In front of him is a box-shaped apparatus with an array of wires and antennas. The radio switchboard.
10-4, what's your status? Over. 10-18, 10-20, over. State your message, sir. Over. 10-9, repeat message. Over. 10-4, message received. This is a very serious situation. I need to 10-22 the captain. Over.
Is it him? What does he want?
Says he lost his badge and needs to report it.
He what? He lost his badge?
This is Communication Officer Jules Pidieux, sir. Over. You mean your partner? Over.
What is he saying?
He's asking who you are.
I'm his goddamn partner.
It's your partner, Satellite Officer Vitmar, sir. Over.
Did he lose his memory along with his fucking badge?
Who lost his badge?
Dick fucking Mullen. Who do you think?
It's Officer Dick Mullen from the bestseller Dick Mullen and the Lost Identity.
Какой же Честер Булка, просто посмотрите на вот это. Зая.
Dick Mullen is not your name. It's the name of a fictional detective who would not lose his badge. Defend yourself. Immediately. They're laughing at you.
He says this has probably happened to other policemen before him and laughs sarcastically.
Oh goddamn it! Is he fucking kidding? The whole station's gonna be dicked for this.
Satellite Officer Vicmar is wondering if you might be joking and adds that this tarnishes the reputation of the entire station. Over.
Mullen dicked us.
10-4, I hear you, officer. I'm just going to make a note here that you are in pursuit of your misplaced badge. Over.
Fuck me. Mac, come here. You've got to hear this. Dick Mullen lost his badge.
What's going on?
Super Cop here lost his badge.
He lost his what now? His badge. He lost his goddamn fucking badge.
He asks you to please stop saying he lost his badge.
Why? Did he find it?
Sergeant Person was wondering if you found your badge yet. Over.
You don't have a comeback. Sorry.
He's not replying. Looks like he's still looking for it. 10-9, come again. I didn't get that. Over.
New heights even for Captain Sober.
Ask him. Ask him if he's lost his gun too.
Sergeant Orson wants to know if you lost your gun too. Over.
Check your pockets. Check your... Holy fuck. You don't know where it is, do you? Okay, it's gone. Your gun is most definitely gone.
Don't sweat it, Bratan. You don't need a gun to have fun. We can still have fun. It's not all over.
10-9, come in, officer. Did you get my question? We were wondering about your gun. Over. 10-1, you're breaking up. 10-9, repeat please. Over. 10-9, come in, officer. Over. Come in, officer. 10-9, repeat message please. Did you misplace your firearm? Over. He says he doesn't have it.
Dear God, he lost his gun? Oh my, I can't. This isn't really a laughing matter.
Mac can face a giant of Coco Nur by himself, but Disco
shit. I didn't piss his pants. Oh, I can't. Fuck. He lost his ass. He still got his wiener. Oh, man.
I'm not going to.
Ask him.
Sergeant Orson here is wondering if you are still in possession of your genitalia. Over. That's a negative. Not going to say that. Over.
What's he saying? Share with the class.
He said he sodomized your mother.
The prick ate Mama's vanilla waffles at the captain's birthday party. Some nerve he's got.
Sure her vanilla waffles were the only thing he ate?
Shut up, Chester. This isn't funny. This is my mom we're talking about. Tell him to apologize right now.
Sergeant Orson requests that you apologize for the claims you made about his mother. Over. Mac, he says you shouldn't have antagonized the Firewalker in the first place.
Who?
Satellite Officer V. I'm afraid he might be referring to himself as Firewater, sir.
Firewater? He's lost it. Fuck it. Tell him to find his goddamn badge and gun. That's the only thing that matters.
Satellite Officer V. 10-4, affirmative. Officer is in pursuit of his firearm.
Oh, God,
Officer, do you need further assistance? Over. 10-4, I hear you. I don't have the authority to grant your request, but...
What does he want now?
He's asking for money.
Is he fucking kidding?
I don't think he is.
Don't give that asshole anything. He's just gonna drink it all.
Alright, that's a negative on the additional funds, sir. Over. Anything else, sir? Over. Okay, 10-4, sir. I hear you. Relay your question. Over.
Wait. Before you say anything stupid, think it through. You're going to be looking at a straitjacket if you tell everyone you lost your memory. Be smart about this. Ask if he's there alone.
10-4, sir. I'm not hearing your question. That's a negative, sir. I got a 10-12 here. Over.
What? What is it? He's still on the line?
He wants to verify the information on his badge.
But of course, it says Dick Mullen, High General of the Revacholian Cavalry Force. Tell him to stop wasting time.
What do you need, sir? Over. 10-9, repeat message. I didn't get that, sir. Over.
What? What is it? What can he possibly still want from us?
He seems intoxicated and keeps asking me to call him by his name.
Mullen's drunk and emotionally aggressive. That's new.
Wrap it up. Don't indulge in his drunken antics.
10. Excuse me, sir.
You probably don't want to continue on this road.
No, sir, I haven't. You're not really keen on mentioning your home life, so I've always assumed things weren't that good on that front. Over. 10-4, well, that's,
Does he actually want something, or is he hell-bent on disrupting our work?
He asked if he ever told me about his days before joining the RCN.
For God's sake, cut this shit out! Tell him to stop wasting time and be a goddamn policeman for a change.
Sir, Satellite Officer Vikmar says... So, was there anything else? Understood, sir. Over. Roger that. 10-10. Over and out.
18 kilometers to the south, in the 41st Precinct's relay booth, a small crowd has gathered around Communication Officer Jules Oldboy Pidier, around a dozen cops. The small room is filled with cigarette smoke, abuzz with laughter, when Officer Judith Minnow enters. Her left arm is in bandages and her hair trimmed short.
What is going on here? Did something happen?
What happened is my partner made contact. It's not good. He's lost his badge and his sidearm. He seemed confused, delirious even.
Mac, the torso Torson, is finger-fucking his fist, laughing hoarsely and apparently telling some dirty story to his partner, Chester McLean, near the entrance.
Yeah, Mullen was fucked, alright. Sounded fucking drunk to me.
Yeah, Mac's right. This was some gnarly shit there. I mean, before he started begging for money, it was...
Enough! None of this is funny. It's fucking sad. That's what it is. He's a cop. He's one of us, goddamn this.
We must help him.
Yeah? How do you fucking plan to do that, huh? Get him off the drink? Go jogging with him in the morning and get him on carrot juice? He's a lost man.
I just know we can't give up on him when he's at his weakest. He wouldn't.
Mac, man the door. You know what he told me? I don't want to get better. I want to get worse. Those were his words. This shit does not leave this room. Not a word of this to the captain, or anyone else. We'll give him a couple of days to pull his shit together.
I guess I can hold off the report for a few days.
Good. Okay, everybody. Nothing but a prank call here. We all got our laughs. Now get back to work.
Far north, on the other side of the motorway, the officer quietly hunches with his hand in the motor carriage.
И вот ради такой штуки нам нужна полицейская волна. Потому что в прошлом прохождении мы этого не слышали, а здесь у нас вот HD появилась. Мы узнали, что у нее была перевязана рука, хотя где бы она получила травму за эти 3 дня. Я надеюсь, это не Гарри. Ну, мало ли, работа тяжелая. И у нас очень замечательно Жан весь такой, типа, сука, но у него сложные отношения, он все еще любит Гарри. В любом случае, сохраняемся. И на этом завершаем стрим. Также будет полное прохождение. У нас получается 2 часа каждый раз. Да, я думаю, как-то так и будет. В любом случае, сделаем фулочку. Фулочка с более-менее нормальным звуком. Насколько это возможно. Это уже неплохо. Всем хорошего дня.